Hi, I'm Emily. I am Head of Product Development at Lola's Cupcakes, and part of my role is to find the best possible ingredients for our cakes, like chocolate, and so I'm here today with Callebaut.
Hi, I'm Julie and I'm the head of the Chocolate Academy in Banbury, and I work with the Callebaut Chocolate all day, every day, so I have a very nice job.
So we're here today to show you some tips and tricks of how to use chocolate, Callebaut chocolate in particular, and we're going to show you how to use them on your cakes and bakes, so some decorations and various other things as well.
So with the Callebaut chocolate, it's made with the finest Belgian cocoa mass, and it's also made from sustainable chocolate. So we have our sustainability program, Cocoa Horizons, and we work very closely with all of the farmers in the West African countries. But also with the Callebaut chocolate, it's a very easy chocolate to work with. So we've designed it so that we get great workability, great taste, and you're going to love working with it.
This is how you can temper chocolate at home. There are so many ways you can temper chocolate, but this way is a great, easy, foolproof way to make it perfect every time.
So to temper chocolate, what we need is some chocolate colettes. So I've got a bag of the 811 dark chocolate here, and when we get the bag of chocolate, it is already tempered. So we've had to temper it on the line to produce all those little buttons, and so that it can come off the chocolate line. So if we don't untemper it, we still have tempered chocolate.
Amazing.
So what we're going to look to do is not take this chocolate above 35 degrees, and that's really important, because at 35 degrees all those cocoa butter crystals melt, and then we would need to do one of the other methods that you were talking about. So for this one, all I'm going to do is pour some of the colettes into a bowl, and I'm using a plastic bowl, and I'm going to put it in for 1 minute, and it's on full power. So what this is doing at the moment is it's just going to start to soften the chocolate, soften the colettes. But what we have to be really careful is not burning the chocolate.
Yes.
Because if anyone's ever burnt chocolate in the microwave, it really smells, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it's not a nice smell.
It's not a nice smell. So we need to always be stirring it. So we're going to give it a minute in there, and then we're going to give it a stir to make sure we get no hot spots or anything happening.
So if it's burnt, get rid of, we can't use it.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
No, not at all.
So with the microwaves, you can do it on full power as well, because some people put it on a low setting, and then it takes forever.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do it on full power and do short, sharp bursts. So if we look in the bowl, we can see that we're starting to get a bit of softening of the chocolate, and that was just after 1 minute. So I'm going to give it a stir to make sure we don't get any hot spots there. We're just giving it a bit of movement, and then we're going to go back in. Okay, so we've had another 30 seconds, and we can see that we're getting more of it melting now. So we're just again going to give it another stir, and we just continue doing this until when we're looking in the bowl, we can actually see that we've got liquid. So now we can see that we've got some colettes left, and we've got some of the liquid chocolate. So we're just going to give it a really good stir and keep stirring until all those colettes now have melted. And then once they've all melted, we're just going to do a little test to check to see whether we have tempered chocolate. So I'm just going to get a little bit of greaseproof paper, and then I'll dip it into the chocolate and I'll leave it on the table. And what we're looking for is that that would set within 3 minutes. If it sets within 3 minutes, it's great.
Yeah.
If it's set really quickly, within 1 minute, we know the chocolate's a little bit cold, and then it would be hard to do any decorations or anything like that with. So we would warm it up a little bit. And if it didn't set at all, then we've taken it a little bit too high.
Okay, and what would you do in that situation?
So if it was a little bit too high, I would get this chocolate, I would warm it up to 40 degrees, and then I would add in 15 to 20% of the colettes back into here and stir it again. And that method is called the seeding method. So we'll do a little test, and then we'll just leave it on the table to see what happens. Okay, so when we do the tests on the paper, they're really important because we can really see what's happening in the chocolate, so you don't have to do all your decorations and then realise there was a problem. So if we look on this first one, it hasn't set within 3 minutes, and I'm starting to get streaks on the top. And that's going to show as white streaks, you know, later on when you'd left it overnight and you came back to your chocolate and you've got these white streaks on there. So that one's not very good. But this one has set within 3 minutes, and we can see there's no more streaks on there, and it's got a very even sheen. So that one is good to go, and I'd be quite happy to use that. It's got air bubbles in there, so there's a few lumps, but that's okay as well, because when we're stirring, we create the air bubbles. And it's only a bit later on when we're either smoothing it out or we tap it to get rid of the air bubbles. So they're quite normal. But then this chocolate now is going to set within 3 minutes.
So we have to get going with some decorations then, won't you?
Yes. And so we do have another piece of kit, heat gun or a paint stripper, or you could use your hairdryer.
Wow.
So if this started to set within 3 minutes, all I would do is just give a little bit of heat around the edge and melt the edge, and then I would stir the two together. And then I'm always looking for that flow rate. And then I can work with that chocolate for, you know, half an hour or more.
That's
so
so great.
Yeah.
Little trick there.
It's all about the tricks, isn't it? Okay, so this chocolate is now tempered and ready to go, so I hand it over to you.
Great, amazing, thank you.
Celebrate with Lola's.